What's up, everyone? Welcome to Film Villains. We're definitely going to jail today. This is the show dedicated to all things horror by filmmakers. Join us as we showcase films, music, physical media, and filmmaking from a filmmaker's perspective. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's
Hey,
up?
hey.
Yeah.
I watched Carrot Top's chairman of the board this weekend. Fucking
Nice.
awesome.
Dude, I need that on tape, bro.
Who are you, Ek?
I've never suffered through that before, but
It's a treat. It is a pleasure.
Is it really good?
No, but it's so bad that it kind of jumps into entertainment category.
Yeah. I was showing my friends Trapped in the Closet, R. Kelly's
God,
masterpiece.
it really is a masterpiece, and this
You've
is why
seen
we got to separate the art from the artist, because I know
Yeah.
R. Kelly's a piece of shit, but Trapped in the Closet is a masterpiece. It's wonderful. Oh my God, I've seen every one.
I have also the full set.
Love my Beretta.
You got the whole set?
Yeah, so there's two. Well, there's the first one that came out. I got it, and it was the first like 12 episodes, and then the next one had the whole thing in it, and you have to have both for sure.
Yeah, you gotta get it, man.
Well, wait a minute. Have you guys heard that all of his victims get royalties to all of his music? So it's okay to listen to his stuff again.
Really?
Oh, that actually makes me feel a lot better.
Really?
I listen to Trapped in the Closet every other day.
You know, I just looked this up on eBay and on Amazon. They are completely sold out everywhere. You can find some used copies on eBay, but 100%, if you throw a watch party at your house, get drunk with all your friends, and it is the funniest shit. It's super intentionally funny, and it's super unintentionally ridiculously funny. And if you have I think it's this first one that has only the first half of all the episodes, which I think it aired on like fucking like the Sundance Channel or some shit. But I would get this one as well, because it has R. Kelly's commentary where you're watching him with a cigar in a lounge watching the movie on the screen, and he's smoking a cigar the whole fucking time, and all he doesn't offer any insight on what the show or the making of the show. All he does is describe, this is the scene right here where the midget comes in out of the kitchen from under the kitchen sink. This was great right here. Yeah. That's it. There's no insight. It's so amazing. But
oh my God, dude.
The whole thing, the best part about it, the whole thing is R. Kelly. It's one beat the entire fucking through 2 or 3 hours, and it's a musical. It's soap opera musical where he sings every line and tells the story through the song, and everyone that is in the show is acting, and they're lip syncing to him. So he's doing the voices for everyone.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant.
You haven't seen it, Jonathan, huh?
I've seen bits and pieces. And I was like, I can't. I don't have enough time to get into this. I'll go down the rabbit hole.
You do. You need to
You
make
should
your.
go- yeah.
I need to make the time now.
Take the time.
And
it's worth it.
Actually, this summer, I think I want to do a screening of it. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Backyard screening.
There you go.
So, actually, what I want to do is put future us and cut it into the beginning of this episode, because we forgot to thank everyone who has watched our first episode. So I think right now it's over 100 people watched our first episode. Thank you guys all if you're returning. And if you are if you're returning, or if it's your first time or whatever, we're gonna do some giveaways in this episode. So the first thing, the first thing I want to say is that later on in this episode, if you watch most of the episode through, we're gonna be giving away one of our books, My Favorite Horror Movie Part 3, Scream Warriors. And so stay tuned throughout the episode, and we'll give you the what you need to do, what you need to put in the comments below. If you like this, shoot us a like. That would help us, help encourage us to be more vagrant and continue this show. Now, but first up, I think I want to do a giveaway for these Skeletor socks that I have.
I want those, dude.
What? Yeah. Skeletor socks. I have one pair right now. I'm gonna give away another pair.
Right?
They're what?
They're not used, right?
No, well, my cat put them on to star in the latest Jane's Addiction music video. So other than that, you could do that too if your head is really small.
Nice.
So I guess for anyone that let's say what should people post in the comments to and then we'll choose them next week who wins the Skeletor sock. Oh, favorite horror movie villain.
Favorite horror movie villain.
Yeah. So you say my favorite villain is blah blah blah.
Billy from Black Christmas.
Yes. It's always gonna be Freddy Krueger for me. So thank you all for checking us out, and if you like us, keep checking it out and subscribe. Who's been up to anything this week? What you guys been doing?
Oh,
Watch
man.
Chairman of the Board, bro. Come on, I already told you.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna be releasing a new short film like probably today. So maybe by the time this episode is posted, it might be out.
Really? Tell us about this.
Nice.
Oh, dude, made a real creepy short film just for fun with a few homies. Is a horror script that I wrote in college that one of my camera homies, Max Zhang, was like, hey, man, do you have any scripts laying around? I'm like, dude, I got this really creepy, gross 2-pager if you're into doing something weird. So we made it. So
cool.
Nice.
That'll be coming out most likely tonight.
Excellent.
Cool.
And we did not mention we all decided to become as douchebaggy looking as possible by all wearing the same sunglasses, just because we all had them on our desks here. So let's see. And our future is way too bright.
We have to wear shades.
Yes, we do.
Blindingly bright.
Jonathan, what you been doing?
Oh, I got a few projects that I'm trying to get made right now. I have a few scripts that I'm working with a couple of writers. Tubi liked that Sinister Surgeon movie that I did.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And I had a meeting with them, and so I'm trying to pitch them some new ideas. I got a couple things, maybe something in the vein of Seven or the Zodiac kind of feel, which I'm leaning towards. I hope that will be the case. But so I've been just trying to grind that and get that going. That's been all my focus.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, and if anybody is interested in Jonathan, because we did a test episode a few weeks ago, and we're going to take a clip of us discussing Sinister Surgeon and kind of the trials and tribulations of making directing a Tubi film and all the enjoyment of making one. Cool. So we'll clip that out and put it up. I think this week I'm going to put it up. We're going to be putting a ton of clips up. So definitely subscribe and keep checking us out if you like what you see.
Oh, one more thing real quick. Yesterday was the cinematographer of Black Devil Doll. It was his birthday. So we got, had a little shindig the other day.
Oh, you're up in the Bay Area?
Yeah, I'm up in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, what's his name, Jonathan?
John Osteen.
John Osteen, happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
Much love, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, I didn't know you shot that whole thing up. You shot the whole thing up there, or did you shoot something down here in LA?
No, that was all shot up in the Bay.
And before you moved to LA then. Okay.
Yep.
Aha.
The year before.
So Ackerman, what you been up to, bro?
Yeah, well, I just happen to be doing stuff, No, we're checking out auditions. We have a few auditions that came in so far for the project that we're going to be doing soon, which we have not announced any of the info on yet. What else did I do? Shit. I know I did something midweek, but I don't remember what that was. But then on last night, I had some friends over and we shot a music video for their band, and they are called Pagoto. And actually what I'll do is I'll do that as my segment because I want to talk about their music. All right, here we go. Axe Discs of Darkness.
Discs of Darkness.
Yeah, I know. Discs. Because it sounded like I said that last episode, dude. I'm like, motherfucker, I should probably think about another title for this because I don't know if I can say discs without.
Don't change it.
Sounding
Don't
like
change
dicks.
a thing.
I think we should change the whole segment, bro.
I think we should change the whole show.
Yeah.
I think so too. So I last night I directed a music video. We just had a 3-person crew, and it's a 2-person band, or 4-person crew because so it was me and my good friend DP's, which a few of you guys know. His name is Jay Ruggieri, and he brought over his buddies Jameson and Ed. And we emptied out my basement. I just, I have like an 80s arcade set up in my basement. So we emptied out the arcades, and we threw the band in there, and we put some crazy lights and had them doing their performance. And the band is like a super crazy doom, evil sounding band that they would definitely be a band that would be great to open up for like the Melvins, if you know the Melvins. With the raw intensity of early L7 or Courtney Love, that raw intense vocal. So this week, or in 2 weeks, I think somewhere around August 6th or so, or August 9th, they're putting out their first album. August 9th here in LA at Licorice Pizza Records on Ventura and Studio City. August 9th from 7 to 9. Pagoto, the band, will be playing the record, and they'll be releasing the record, and I think it's free, and it's at Licorice Pizza's Records, which is, I think that was the based on the movie was based on that record store, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah,
so I'll be
the
excited
original one on Sunset, right?
I don't know. It might have been I don't know. I never knew anything about Licorice Pizza Records.
It would have been what Oz is, AAHS, like Kitty Corner from the Whiskey.
That's
where Licorice
really?
Pizza was.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a little tour.
Yeah, I don't.
It's probably some rich people condos now, because Hollywood's fucking dead and dying and lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we'll be. That's where I'll be August 9th. If you guys want to join, go check them out.
Cool.
So, and I guess we also forgot to go through the horror news of the week here. So we should do that. The first thing up was they put out a new Alien Romulus trailer. I hadn't even seen any of the earlier ones yet, but did you guys see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be going to see that for sure, dude. There's certain franchises to me that I really don't care. I really don't care how good each installment is, as long as they keep making them. Yeah. And Aliens is one of those where I just want a new Alien movie every like 2 or 3 years. Just give me a new Alien movie. Like, I know there's gonna be some clunkers in there, but yeah, I can't wait for Alien Romulus, dude. It looks super gnarly. And Fede Alvarez, Evil Dead director, and oh my god, what's the other one?
Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. Yeah. And Don't Breathe. I actually didn't. I wasn't a super huge fan of it, the story, but I loved how it was directed. So I think it's got look beautiful, and I think that Alien Romulus looks very, very intense.
My excitement is coming from the IMAX experience to see an Alien movie on a huge screen. That's what I'm.
Yes.
Yeah. And the trailer, there was a lot of spoilers in the trailer. And it's like, oh, I just saw this person die and this person die. And I'm like, oh yeah.
It's an Alien movie. They're all gonna fucking die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess if you don't like spoilers, you probably shouldn't watch the trailer. But it did look cool because there's tons of face hugger action. A lot of face hugger action.
It's been a while since there's been I don't know. There's been alien aspects in different films and all this kind of stuff, or Alien versus Predator type things. But it's been a while since there's been a true alien movie. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're also introducing this whole new genre or franchise to a younger audience. So it's that'll be interesting to see how they play it. So I'm interested to see that too.
I just hope it's a bloodbath, man. I think it will be. I think that we're going to get to see a lot of space people get shredded by some aliens. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. And dude, I have not watched an alien movie since the disaster piece, Alien versus Predator. I kind of gave up after that, but I haven't even watched the Ridley Scott new ones or anything. So
just skip them, bro. Skip.
Yeah.
Prometheus and all that.
Yeah.
I
might get flack for that. I might get flack for that, but
yeah, I wanted to like Prometheus so much. I actually defend Prometheus, or I used to. I kind of gave up. I used to defend it for the longest time. But
yeah,
there's great aspects to the movie, but man, yeah, it's hard now.
I just really want to see like people running away from aliens, man. You know, I think that the yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Prometheus stuff was cool. I just I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like Covenant.
Was it too, or were they too heady?
It's not even that they're heady. Maybe, and that's not a slight on the film. It might just not have been the movie I wanted. I want an alien movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not even saying it was a bad movie, but like, it's pretty easy to please me as an Aliens fan. Just give me a bunch of aliens and I'm good. Like,
it's almost as if they had they were doing the ancient alien thing, and then the producers were like, "Wait, you need an alien in this movie." With Prometheus. And then they threw that in at the end to appease, Hunter. And so
by then it was far too late. By then it was far too late for me on that one. And the characters make some real boneheaded decisions in that movie too, which was head scratching. But yeah. But either way, Alien Romulus looks lit as fuck.
Yeah, it does. I definitely like it. Also up this week is okay. So have you guys ever seen a Japanese horror film that came out probably in the early 2000s called Uzumaki?
No, can't say I have.
Yeah, so that
is there another title to it?
No. Well, Uzumaki means spiral. And so back in it's based on a manga, but I had never read any of the anything about it other than just seeing the movie, but the original movie. But it's about this, basically the spiral shape itself starts taking over and like possessing people and killing people in this town. And so everywhere in Japanese culture, I think there's a lot of spirals in, like, from noodles to snails and all that kind of stuff, where it's and just kind of prevalent in their culture. So I think people just start getting haunted by spirals and start going crazy because of just the idea of spirals. And so there's a new show that's gonna be on Cartoon Network or something like that, where it's an animated version of
that sounds cool.
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network, yeah, whatever it's called. I don't know.
No, I can't.
What did I call it? Dude, I can't. I had the thing up, and I've been trying to pull up all the news, and I've been missing out because I somehow all of my fucking windows closed, so I'm trying to pull them up while I'm talking.
PBS Kids.
Yeah. So next up, have you guys ever remember Amicus Studios? Amicus Productions. They're a horror company back in the 60s and 70s.
I don't think so. Let me look them up real quick.
Yeah, so they did.
Is Hulk Hogan in any of those?
Yeah. Yeah, so they did films such as Asylum, The House of Drip Blood, and blah, blah, blah. I've only seen a couple of movies, and it's been so long, but it's pretty cool that these people somehow got the rights to the names, or maybe they were a part of it. But Amicus did all these gothic horror films back in the day, set in castles and that kind of shit. And so these guys last year put out a really fun Indiegogo campaign and raised money to try to bring back the company and bring back those style of films. And so their first film is now coming out soon. It's called In the Grip of Terror.
Ooh.
And what I think they did was they bought this building, and so they're just filming everything inside the building that they bought, and it's all like fucking this decrepit old mansion, probably in the countryside or something. But whatever's going on with them, I'll be checking out for sure. And then back over in the American land, we have a new movie from director Chuck Russell, which he has not directed a movie in a long while. I don't even know the last movie. You guys know Chuck Russell from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, and The Blob, and I guess he directed the Mask with Jim Carrey. I think he directed that. So he is, hold on, let's pull this up. Witchboard, there you go. So he's doing and it just hit Fantasia this last week, a remake of Witchboard, Kevin Tenney's Witchboard. So, and I guess Joe Blow didn't give it quite a great review, but I watched the trailer and I'm like, all right, I'm in. You know, I've Chuck Russell's cool and Kevin Tenney's cool. I've chatted with him a ton. He's always at my friends' Halloween parties every year. So, and what's cool about this is that one time I was talking to Kevin about Night of the Demons, and I had told him my favorite horror movie was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3: Dream Warriors, and he said, "Oh, once Dream Warriors was done filming, I took all of the crew from them and to make Night of the Demons." So then I was like, "Oh fuck, that's why the looks of both of those films are very similar." You know, you look at the dream sequences going to the house on Dream Warriors, and all the similar stuff of going through this big old decrepit mansion in Night of the Demons, very similar in the way it looks. So it's kind of come full circle now that Chuck Russell is now directing a remake of Kevin Tenney's movie. So
well,
I'll be checking it out.
Speaking of remakes, he also holds a special place in my heart because he did The Blob in '88. So
hell yeah, yeah.
I love that. I love that version.
That's a scary movie, dude.
Yeah, I grew up watching that. Loved it. Yeah,
it's a fucking awesome movie. So one time I did get to hang out with Chuck Russell. So maybe sometime about 3 years ago, they were I think it was Heather Langenkamp and Ira from Dream Warriors. I think they were putting on a charity event at the Whiskey A Go-Go here. And it was on like a Sunday at noon or some shit. And it was a live script reading of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And so Heather Langenkamp was playing all the Freddy parts. And I think
cool.
Robert Englund, I think he was doing the narration. And they had Penelope Sudrow and all that. It was just most of the cast was able to come. And so I got to see my favorite horror movie live. Script read live, so it was awesome.
Look at Alex there.
Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me stop the screen and get this. Oh, yeah, there we go. What do you got, Alex?
What
is that?
From that. This is
shit! Were you there?
I was fucking there.
He was fucking there. He was fucking there.
Did you go with me?
No, I went on my own. My buddy was working security there. I went in through the back door.
And
nice.
But did I see you? I don't remember seeing you.
Yeah, we went to the Rainbow after.
Oh, okay. So you and I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ, my memory's gone, dude.
Heather's script, bro, from that.
Oh, no shit.
That's dope.
Damn.
That's so cool.
I'll sell it to you for one firstborn child. It doesn't have to be yours.
I'll give you one space
child.
But yeah, so yeah, that was the dream. That was one of the greatest events I've ever been to, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So well, I think it's time for Alex to give us a little of the good action, that little punk rock and roll action. Here we go, Alex. Let's do this.
So I just watched this. This is one of my favorite movies from my, I don't know, early teens, probably even earlier. I don't have the cover with me, but Pump Up the Volume. This movie is. There's only really one punk in the movie, but the soundtrack is punk. The whole fucking idea of the movie is fucking punk. It's a Christian Slater flick from 1990, I guess, on the dot. So it's still in 80s territory, really. But he just moved to like middle of nowhere, Arizona, and he's got this ham radio set up, and he's just like this little social outcast, and he starts this radio show where he's kind of like half Howard Stern, half like profound Lenny Bruce fucking kind of shit. And the kids just start listening. And, it's dick jokes and talking shit and a little bit of just, antisocial whatever. It gets a little dark. A caller calls in, is like, do you think I should kill myself? Kid ends up killing himself. We get deep into teen suicide. And all of a sudden, the FCC is fucking after this little tiny radio station. And It's fucking profound. It's awesome. It's really topical of fucking free speech. And oh no, but the soundtrack is awesome. It's certainly the first place I ever heard Richard Hell. It's the first place I ever heard The Descendants. It's the first place I ever heard Bad Brains. Christian Slater and her were actually boyfriend girlfriend at the time, so their chemistry is fucking fantastic.
Cool.
But you know, there's a lot of characters that are on the periphery of punk rock there, you can see, you know, but there's one guy who's definitely bleach blonde hair, denim jacket, weather fucking vest, and he's just, you know, kicked out of the school because he's got poor grades. So he starts doing some protesting. It ends up, you know, the school is quite problematic, and his name is Happy Harry Hardon. But it's a good representation of just teen fucking angst and alienation. And like, I watched it a couple weeks ago again for the first time in years, and you know, they really get what it's like to fuck. There it is. That is the one true punk in the film, I believe. The person he's talking to right there, that is a very early Seth Green right there with the long red hair.
Oh, it kind of does look like him, yeah.
I was gonna say the mullet game on Seth Green is very strong.
Quite high. And I definitely thought the blonde punk dude was Pauly Shore when I was younger, but it is not Pauly Shore. It is just a guy that kind of looks like Pauly Shore.
Okay.
But if you want to watch it, this is the only way to watch it at this point. It is not streaming on fucking anything. You cannot purchase it on Amazon streaming, anything like that. So this is definitely one of those physical media moments where it's like, we've got to hold on to these things. Because I thought, you know, just a couple weeks ago, I wanted to watch it, and I did the just watch or the just streaming or whatever. Like, where the fuck do I watch this? And they were like, you fucking can't. So I had to go get, you know, my high school fucking book of DVDs. And that is why this is currently case free, because all the cases are somewhere in my parents' garage. But it's a fucking...
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, you can bet your booty I have that on tape, bro.
Ooh.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, you do.
How much is your booty worth? That's the question.
I don't know. You can start the bidding at $50.
Will anyone go 49, 48,
40? Do I hear 40? Do I hear 35?
I'll buy that for $1. Anyways, pump up the volume if you can find it. It's fucking rad. The tagline is talk hard. I would, you know, I fucking hate remakes as a standard rule. They do occasionally, but I could see this fitting really well in the modern day with the way podcasts exist and like just, you know, how people have access to this stuff now, where it's like, you know, you definitely had to be a rich kid if you were going to have your own pirate radio station, but like you could just be anybody with a Podbean account and just start doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and Christian Slater was our generation's Jack Nicholson, you know, especially in fucking Heathers. Oh man, Heathers is so amazing. So, and I think I know because back in the day when the VHS world, I used to rent movies, and I would take them home in college, and I would dub 3 movies on a new tape. I'd had 2 machines constantly set up, so I just recorded everything I could and just returned them the same day and got more. And I had that one, but I think the recording didn't come out, so I didn't get to see the whole movie. And so I have not seen that whole movie, and I feel, even though I don't feel much shame, maybe I should feel some for that.
It's a great fucking flick, bro. You should definitely. I'll rent this to you for $3 a week.
$3 a week.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
And Jonathan, you haven't seen that movie?
No, I haven't. But I was still giving you side eye for not having seen it. You're a musical guy. You're a punk.
Oh shit!
Punk guy.
Yeah,
Hunter.
I can close Matt.
Hunter, have you seen Pump Up the Volume? What the fuck?
I have it on tape, but I haven't watched it.
This was a big movie, but it's just fallen through the cracks of whatever distribution licensing. Like it never went on Blu-ray. This is, you know, it's a first generation DVD.
I bet you it's the music. Maybe they didn't get the music rights down or some shit. You know?
The music's great,
Something
dude. It's
yeah.
the first time I ever heard
Yeah,
Leonard
something
Cohen.
stupid.
Fucking Everybody Knows is like the theme song. It's
Oh,
so
cool.
fucking cool. Highly suggested. Fucking yeah. Go steal Hunter's VHS copy. Mine is under lock and key. You will never find it.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of Hunter, I think it's time. Let's do this, Hunter. All
What
right.
up? On this episode of Hunter's Home Video Horrors, I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite films and one of my all-time favorite tapes. This is the movie May by Lucky McKee. You might notice on this particular copy of May, it's got the wonderful horror sticker in the corner and also the rated R restricted sticker. I love when my tapes have stickers on them. I just think it's super cool. This is a movie that changed my life as a filmmaker and greatly inspired me. I vividly remember watching this movie as a kid overnight when my parents were out of town, and it spooked me so bad. It's about a girl who falls in love with a guy, but she's very awkward and has some issues. And eventually things go south, and she may or may not go on a killing spree to create the ultimate friend. But it's a great film. I had the privilege of PAing on a Lucky McKee shoot, who made this film many years after the fact when I was working in LA. And at the end of the shoot, I was a PA. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole, so obviously I'm not going to go blow up the director's spot like while he's working. Like that's just not professional. But at the end of the day, when we were wrapping and he was outside of his car and about to get in his car to leave for the night, I went up to him and said, "Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. My name is Hunter, and you made one of the films that inspired me like most of all." And that was May. And also another fun fact, I showed my girlfriend this movie for the first time and she fell in love with it. So she got a copy of May before I even had a copy. And I was always like, that's my copy. She's like, "No, this is mine. Like, this is not your tape." So I ended up having to get my own, just so I could have it. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, it's a great flick. Anna Faris is wonderful in it. Jeremy Sisto and Angela Bettis is incredible. She's one of my favorite actresses. Check out May by Lucky McKee. It's a great movie, and it's a great to watch on tape too. There's also a House of a Thousand Corpses trailer at the top of this tape.
Oh, really?
Which is super fun. And likewise on the House of a Thousand Corpses, they got a May trailer.
Oh shit! And so yeah, this came out probably in 2002, right? Because I have my copy here. So that's when House of the Thousand Corpses came out too. All right, yeah, because I know it was made in like fucking 2000. And it took a couple of years for it to come out. So yeah, okay, the timeline makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's a Cabin Fever trailer on that tape too, if I'm not mistaken. But I have to give
really?
Double check. Yeah,
yeah, because it's all fucking it's all Lionsgate. Yep, Lionsgate. Yep. Hell yeah.
That's also an interesting story of the House of a Thousand Corpses, the timeline of it getting made. Like you said, it took like 5 years.
Yeah. Dude,
there's some funny stories behind that. Go ahead, Hunter.
I was gonna say the first night I ever watched this, I watched it a double feature with House of a Thousand Corpses, and my parents I think I had just turned 17. So I was able to rent an R-rated movie by myself without my parents. And I rented this and House of a Thousand Corpses and just spooked myself out so hard that night, dude. It really was like a night that I vividly remember like being influential in my horror movie journey. But yeah, and House of a Thousand Corpses, man. Yeah, I remember seeing Rob Zombie live in concert like a year or two before House of a Thousand Corpses even came out, when it was still all wrapped up in post-production hell. And he's like, "Listen, guys, at some point, this movie's going to come out." And he played the theme song for House of a Thousand Corpses with all these like gruesome images from the movie on the screen. And I was like 16 years old watching, going like, "I got to see this fucking movie." Yeah, great.
I think it is time for Jonathan to give us a little slice of love from the Italian side. Let's go.
Last time I was giving a little overview of Giallo, but I didn't mention the one and the only, the godfather of Giallo films, Mario Bava. And I want to give a little nod to Mario Bava and his influence on all of these filmmakers and these films, and how amazing he was in terms of just kind of crafting some of the look and the style of everything that came after that. I mean, from Blood and Black Lace to even the stuff that's gothic films like Black Sunday, which is one of my favorites.
Hell yeah.
And I'm even kind of turning and leaning into Black Sunday a little bit, just because it was his first official movie that he was credited as director. Even though if you go into the history, he came in and directed a bunch of films. I think there's like 4 or 5 before this that he wasn't credited for, but he came in and saved those films because they were going down the tubes and they needed somebody genius. And this guy has been in every aspect of filmmaking. He, from special effects to cinematographer to you name it, he had done it all. And he was, I think, around 42 around that time when he made Black Sunday. But
Really?
yeah, he was. They had to force him to actually become a director because he had that perfectionist syndrome of, I'm not good enough and I can't do it. And I think that if you ever read there's a famous Mario Bava book that's written by Tim Lucas, and it says that when he was a kid and used to draw pictures as a little school child, he would show his father, and he would sign his name at the bottom of the picture, oh, Mario did this. And he'd show his father, and his father would slap him in the face and say, how dare you sign your name like you're an artist? You're not a maestro. You can only sign your name when you're great. So
Really?
That'll fuck you up.
Yeah, that'll fuck you up and think that you're never going to be good enough, even though you are the master, you are the maestro. And he became the godfather of Italian horror. And you could say that. I think so. There's some debates there. But he is definitely the godfather of Giallo filmmaking.
For sure.
Definitely one of those aspects of Black Sunday, if anybody's ever seen Black Sunday, which is still more of a straight horror film, but since it's his first, I want to focus on that. All of the shooting and cinematography within that film is absolutely amazing, and it's really something special. It put him on the map. But one of the key things that blew my mind is the special effects in camera, on set, special effects that he did, where there's some spoiler alert here. Some of the characters' faces, they grow from old to young, from gruesome to beautiful. And he had done this in a previous film that he wasn't credited in. And the way they did this, he was actually mimicking special effects that were done with Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde back in the 30s. But I actually got a chance at the LACMA museum just last week or so. I got a chance to go check that out. And I was the asshole in the museum saying Bava did it better because they do the same effect in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
And, basically what they're doing is he put together the makeup on the face, and they use a certain different colors and certain different type of makeup, and then they changed the lighting, and it's a slow dimmer that brings up the different makeup that you can't see in certain light. And I think they use red and green and different colors. I don't know the science. I'd have to go back and look it up exactly and tell you exactly what they did, but it's mind-blowing. If you're watching something like that in 1960 on a black and white Gothic movie, you would think, oh, what is this, CGI? What is this? It's amazing. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to Mario Bava. He also went on to make another kind of horror movie that Bay of Blood, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve.
Hell yeah.
There was inspiration. Sean Cunningham, that did the Friday the 13th series. That was heavily inspired. I mean, there's even the same kills in some of those scenes. So from that to Whipping the Body to Kill Baby Kill, Dario Argento was heavily influenced by the style of the colors in Blood and Black Lace, which we saw later in a lot of his films. So big shout out today to Mario Bava and his slew of films. If you haven't discovered this man, there's a couple box sets that you can find online, or I would say in the stores, but nobody goes and buys DVDs in stores anymore, which is a shame. But definitely, if you have the money, go online, get as many Mario Bava films. It'll inspire you. It'll make you a better filmmaker. He's the master. So that's my deal for today. I have one other little note. Last week, we were talking about, I had a little controversial statement of Sergio Martino maybe being a little better than Dario Argento. Blasphemy, you know. Everybody's gonna come after me. But so if you take a look at when these guys are making films, and you look at something like, we have Argento with his animal films that he kind of started putting out. He had The Bird with Crystal Plumage, Cat O' Nine Tails, Four Flies on Gray Velvet. Those all came out 70, 71, back to back. And they have a certain whodunit kind of style. Their Bird with Crystal Plumage is almost a perfect movie. It's amazing. But then the others definitely seem very tame within the gore, within the stylistic, I would say, movements in cinematography that he came to be, that he was known for later in life. And then you look around 71, you could see, like, after those three movies were so popular, all these other Italian filmmakers started making giallos. And then so in 71, that same year, Sergio Martino, his contemporary, comes out with Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. And that movie is fucking insane. It has that Dario Argento feel. It has that giallo feel, but it's a little more rough. It's a little more sleazy. It's a little more crazy. And there's a lot of weird, what do you call it? Dream sequences. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in that. And then,
it's an erotic film too.
Yeah, it pushes the boundaries. It's almost like he saw what Argento was doing, and he's like, I want to do that, but I want to push it even further and go a little crazier, be a little meaner at times, but also still stylistic. I think the cinematography in that is beautiful as stuff in, Four Flies on Gray Velvet. And then you get into The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, and again, same thing, pushing that envelope. And then you look at what Argento does after that. So right after that, he has some smaller TV series stuff. But then his big movie was Deep Red. And then right after that is Suspiria. And then you get Inferno and Tenebrae. And then if you look at Sergio Martino, he's got your the Strange Vice of, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, which is
he did that one too.
Crazy. Yeah. And then he does Torso, and Torso is off the chains. And so it's almost like there's this back and forth of who can push the limits. But I feel like Sergio Martino inspired that in art. It was that healthy competition, and he inspired that in Argento. But Argento got the credit because he had that beautiful opening with Birds of a Crystal Plumage. So
you're saying like they're competing like the Beatles and the Beach Boys in mid-60s, trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, they were going back and forth, and then it was creating these amazing films. And I feel like Sergio pushed Argento to the director that we know him as today. And he doesn't, and I don't want to give him credit for that. I want to give him credit for his films, because some of his films are a little more on my side of the spectrum. It's a little more raunchy, it's a little more crazy, it's a little more violent, and it's wild, and it's dream. It's like a Salvador Dali-ish stuff going on.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just dig it more. And I've been, thrown out of bars for saying shit like this.
Really?
Throwing out of horror vibes and coffee, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's my take on Giallo for this episode.
It's quite an essay. So I started watching this Strange Vice and Mrs. Ward, and I haven't finished it yet. So I started watching a few months ago. It's been sitting on my shelf for even a few years. So I'm definitely gonna finish that. So if you're gonna, we need to go back to Bava. Are you gonna? What's the best Martino, the gateway horror Martino that someone needs to watch?
Ooh, that's such a. I would if it depends on your taste, because Strange Vice is classic. I think that's up there, and that's one of the first ones he did. And then I also like Torso is absolutely amazing. You can't go wrong with Torso. Those are the popular ones.
And that's probably his most popular one, right? Torso.
Yeah. Torso's his most popular one. There's also oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. It's the one where it's All the Colors of the Dark is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But you can also, right before Torso is Strange Vice, Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key. Same time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
The answer is all of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah. It's kind of a journey, and there's ones that Giallos are very hit or miss. It's like going into the 80s and watching a bunch of slasher films. You're gonna find some really awesome ones, some really great gems, but you gotta weed through some shit every now and then. You're like, this isn't it. But that's with all Giallo. It's a journey in that sense.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, so back to Bava, because this is very important. Let's go around the horn, and so Jonathan, we'll start with you. What's your favorite Bava movie then?
My favorite Bava movie, I feel like it's Blood and Black Lace. It's just because it's
Blood and Black Lace.
Yeah, Blood and Black Lace. It sets up the archetype, the archetype of those type of movies. It's all of these women at this fashion boutique school, if you will. There's this crazy masked killer that's coming in and taking them out one by one, but it has that Giallo feel. There also is this aspect of them trying to figure out who the killer is, why they're killing. It set everything up for that you have later on. And even you can see the influence of these movies in the 80s in America with the slasher films and stuff like that. So it just kind of sets the tone.
Yeah, that's one that I've never owned, and I have not seen Blood and Black Lace.
And it's beautiful. If you like Suspiria, this is an old school Suspiria look. The way the cinematography is off the chains. But I will say my second mention is Black Sabbath, because it's like a little anthology, and you get a little taste of different things. I think I was first inspired by seeing Black Sabbath, and then I saw Blood and Black Lace, and then after that I saw Black Sunday, and Black Sunday blew my mind, even though it's just a horror. I've
recorded a song called Black Sunday before, my old band. I think we were playing the movie and recording while we were watching it.
Yeah.
So my favorite Mario Bava movie is Lisa and the Devil.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Which is, I think it was his highest budgeted movie at that time, and I forget what year this came out, in 77, I think. And I think it cost $1 million or $2 million, one of those two, to make it. And I don't think and it didn't make its money back because it didn't have all this crazy excitement to it. But eventually the producer had to recut the movie after The Exorcist came out. Oh yeah, this came out like 71. This is early 70s.
There's two versions.
Yeah, so there's two versions. So when The Exorcist came out, they realized, okay, let's just capitalize on the popularity of that movie and exorcism movies that are coming out. And so they did one where they shot a bunch of footage and just cut it in to this movie and called it The House of Exorcism. But if you like lost girls beautiful lost girls in mansions trying to figure out what to do with their lives and how to get home, and creepy people fucking with them, Lisa and the Devil is a wonderful film, and it's just gorgeous cinematography, gorgeous shots. It's unbelievably cool looking.
And it's got Telly in it, man, and he was
Telly Savalas.
He was huge then, and it was like, wow.
And that's where his lollipop thing came into play in the 70s. That was the first time he's used the lollipop, so he was always famous in all of his projects for using a lollipop in his mouth while he's talking to people.
If you go on there, if you go on the Lisa and the Devil IMDb, they have a really cool trailer for it on there if people want to check that out.
Yeah. Alex, what's your favorite Bava?
I don't think I've seen any Bava.
Well,
shit.
Yo, I'm not even kidding. You're gonna have to strip my horror card too. I just looked him up on I own several of his movies on tape. I just haven't watched them.
Well, then you now have some recommendations.
I know, dude. I'm tripping.
I feel like Hunter and I start, our shit is slashers. It's like what all of this inspired is kind of like where, most of our shit starts. But I'm down to go back.
No, these are slasher movies. Like if you're talking the Mario Bava he really started the slasher movie. Besides Psycho and besides Peeping Tom in 1960-61 area. Like what was it? Twitch of Death Nerve or Hatchet for the Honeymoon was the first late 60s fucking slasher that inspired.
Yeah, Hatchet for the Honeymoon is the only one I've seen.
Okay, so you've seen that at least.
Yeah.
So, Hatchet for Honeymoon.
Funny story about Twitch of the Death Nerve. Mario Bava in his personal life was a jokester. He was all about cracking jokes, doing practical jokes on people. And they were thinking, and they couldn't figure out a plot for a movie. And he's like, and they had this, campsite. And then he goes, hey, why don't we have like 13 characters and we just kill them all? And they were like, this will be hilarious. It'll be a comedy. And then they turned it into Bay of Blood, Twitch of the Death Nerve. So, but yeah, going back to what Alex said, that's how I found Bava. Is I was like, what inspired these movies? What inspired these directors? And then I try to find that person. And then I was looking at Carpenter, and I'm like, what inspired Carpenter? And I try to find stuff that he was into, and that led me into the Italian horror stuff. And then eventually I got to Bava, who was at one point called the Italian Hitchcock, and he never wanted to come to the U.S. Yeah. But yeah, so jump down that rabbit hole.
I know. Yeah,
baby.
I had friends over when we were making the music video last night, and I was just showing them Suspiria because I was like, okay, we got to do some lighting. And so my DP friend Jay, he's never seen this, but I'm always trying to push him when we're shooting stuff. We'll put some color on them lights, dude. Let's fucking do it. And he's like, oh, I don't know. As a DP, they're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, DP.
I'm like, no, dude, fucking let's make this thing all fucking colorful, dude. Let's do it. I don't give a fuck. There's one scene with the somewhere toward the maybe around the hour mark where there's the girl character, the friend of the lead is trying to wake up her friend, and it's a totally dark blue room. I forget all the color sequence, but she's in the room and it's just pure blue. And she walks out and she opens the door and it's fucking red in the hallway. And the red light shines on the fucking blue walls. And then she goes into the red hallway, goes up some stairs, and then goes into a pure green room. And then, it's just like fucking one color to another. It's so awesome. I love it. I love color. I just want fucking splashes of color. I want all my movies to just be color. That's it.
Yeah. I ripped Bava off in Sinister Surgeon. He has in Blood and Black Lace, the killer has this kind of mask, and he's a faceless killer, kind of like, what's the movie? I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyways, I ripped that off in Sinister Surgeon. I made the surgeon have a faceless mask over his surgical mask or under his surgical mask.
Oh,
so,
You didn't rip that off, bro. You paid homage.
There you go.
Yeah. Right now, we're going to give away a copy of our book, My Favorite Horror Movie, Part 3, Scream Warriors. And I have a lot of these. I'm going to be, yes, exactly. I'm going to be giving away from my vault. I have a ton of these. So every week, we're probably going to be giving these away because I probably have 100 that are just sitting in a box. So it is time to release them out into the world. So if you would like to win this copy, put in the comments your favorite horror movie. Say, right, my favorite horror movie is blah, blah, whatever it is, May, Twitch of the Death Nerd, whatever it might be. And by next week, we will be giving a copy of this away, and we'll do a drawing or something. And then if you don't win this time, we'll try again next week. So thank you for sticking around this long. And if you like it, give us a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. So let's get on to let's get on to our main topic of the week. As filmmakers, we wanted to discuss the worst day we've ever had on set, right? So have you guys had a chance to think about like what would be the worst day that you've ever had making a movie? Hunter, what do you have?
I mean, I had one where I was tasked with picking up everyone's coffee order, and it was late at night, and I knew we were running behind schedule, and I put about 16 coffee orders drove like 20 minutes to the only Starbucks that was, 24 hours, put them all on the floor in my passenger seat next to me, and started driving back to set, and then missed my exit, or should I say I saw my exit way too late and didn't slow down enough, didn't realize that it was one of those real windy 25-mile-an-hour turns, and spilled about 16 coffees in my car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was a pretty big fail on my part. Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad day on set.
Was it too late to go back and get more? It was just...
I did, dude. I'm not even kidding. I went back to the Starbucks, and I went to the barista, and I was like, listen, bro, you're not even going to believe this, but I just wasted all 16 of those coffees, and I'm wondering if there's anything you do. I'm like a poor ass like dude at this point. You know what I mean? Like, not that I still am a poor ass dude, but but she was very kind. She hooked me up, man. I showed her the proof, bro. I'm like, the cups are all on the floor in my car, bro.
Oh man,
you just had to put her back to work and hope that she'd give you some free coffees.
Hey, she came through in the clutch.
Really?
Hey, and Christian Ackerman, that was actually a set story from a movie that you were producing.
Really?
Yeah. It was actually that happened on oh my God, I don't want to butcher the name on the podcast. Patsy Lee and the Five Kingdoms.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
You should have just told me. You didn't have to worry about fucking coming back. I would have made sure I got paid for. You wouldn't have to pay out of your pocket.
I know. I'm just that kind of guy, though. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna come back with the coffee one way or the other.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get the job done.
Yeah, man. You gotta. People need their fucking coffee, dude.
Well, if I got a coffee that day, thank you, Hunter. It was amazing.
You did get your coffee.
Yeah. I've had being on set, however many thousands of days I've been on set over the years, it's hard to like pinpoint that worst day, right? There, I mean, there's one thing that just popped into my mind because I used to be in my production assistant days. My first job in the industry was at the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I had many bad days where I'm young and just learning how to be an adult amongst all these amazing professionals and shit. And there was one time when we used to so the way that the monologues would work, the writers would write a joke, and then we would bring them over to, or they would bring them over to the writer's coordinator, and then she would type all the jokes up on cards. Or Jay, actually, we would bring them Jay. He would sign off on the ones he kind of liked. Then the coordinator would write them on these like index cards, and then those cards would be brought down to Jay and the head writer while they're rehearsing the show and just trying to figure out the format and everything. And so while they're doing all like the segments in between the monologue and the talk segments, Jay would just constantly be reading jokes all day long. And so one time, I had a stack of those jokes in the folder, and somehow it didn't make it to Jay. And so he sits in the cue card room, and he would be checking through jokes and adding more jokes and having the cue card guys write jokes. And then you would actually, and it was really cool that you could sit in the room with him. It was just you, the cue card guy, and Jay, and Jay's just testing all the jokes out, and he'll look over to you and, hey, is that good? Is that you like that? You didn't laugh? Oh yeah, okay. Oh, let's take that one out, that kind of thing. And so somehow I had a stack of those jokes that didn't make it into Jay's hands and into the cue card room. And she was like, hey, what happened to those jokes? After the show, and he found me. He's like, what happened to those jokes? I thought we had another stack of jokes. And I was like, oh yeah, Jay, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. It got stuck in the folder. It fell into the folder. That's probably what happened. Like, it wasn't like a big, a screw up on my part. It was just something happened. And Jay just like looks at me and, it's all right, but just don't let it happen again. And it's like, fuck. All right.
That's tough.
Because he's like the nicest fucking guy. And that's as mad as Jay would ever get at me. It was just, that's it. He never got mad at people. He's just so fucking, he's just like the best boss on the planet. Everybody loved him on the show. So
that's cool.
But it's like one of those things where
getting reamed out, dude. It's just his disappointment.
Yeah. And but what I did affected the show, and back then it was like 5-6 million people watching. So what I did, everything that I could affect the show, because sometimes so those jokes didn't make it to those 5-6 million people that night, or sometimes sometimes you're the hero where it's like, okay, you got to go. We have like 15 minutes. We have a guest coming up. Jay wants to give this person flowers when she walks out, this big actress or whatever. Get to the fucking flower shop, bring them back. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I got this. And so you race over, you got 5 minutes to get there, 5 minutes back, 5 minutes to run, a couple of minutes to run them in. And you just hand them to like the stage manager while the actress is like standing right at the fucking entryway to get onto the stage. And it's like, boom, yeah, fuck yeah, I did it. And then it's all right, here comes, Sharon Stone and, that kind of shit. It's like, fuck. Wow. You have those like really cool, fun accomplishments where, because it's all, that kind of show is super fucking timed out and there is no delay. You just have to do it, and hopefully you get everything there in time. So yeah, fun times.
Cool. TV is stressful, bro.
Yeah.
It is, dude.
Cool.
Yeah. Jonathan, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, what comes to mind? Yeah, it's hard to think of all the stuff. I would say maybe my first week as a production coordinator on a legit big feature film, and I was tasked with a lot of things as a coordinator, but you're also tasked with setting up the paperwork for the locations, and they didn't have everything locked in yet. And my producer or line producer at the time, he came over to me. He's all, hey, make sure that you get this location locked in with Film LA and the paperwork's done so that, we can shoot come Monday, and we're bringing 50 people there. and the whole crew,
Oh,
everything,
no.
all the trucks. And I was like, yeah, sure, I got it. And I think it was during the week before, and it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I hadn't done that task yet. It just slipped, that one location slipped my mind. And he was just like, dude, what? Oh, dude, you fucked up.
Oh, dude.
He's like, you better call Film LA and you better get this handled, because we're gonna have all this equipment, all these trailers and trucks, and we're gonna have nowhere to be. And I was like, oh my God. And it was even more stressful because it was my first time on a feature as a coordinator. And so then that night we were doing an all-nighter. And so I was working during the afternoon and then worked the movie all night. And then I just stayed up until I think it was like 8 a.m. when they opened. And I just kept on redial, called the person that was our representative at Film LA on speed dial, and just kept bugging, like, oh, hit it again, till they came into the office and they took pity on me. We finally got it. They pushed it through. And then I text the line producer. I was like, hey, I got taken care of it. I told him at like 9 o'clock, and he's like, good job. That was it. But I was sweating, man. I was like, oh shit.
I've totally had that same shit, and this is on the same movies that Hunter did. That Patsy Lee and the Keeper. Now it's called The Keepers of the Five Kingdoms, which just came out like last month. At the same thing where we don't have a location manager, and when you don't have a location manager to take care of this stuff, and you have like a coordinator and line producer, or just you're the producer and you're trying to take care of all this shit on top of making sure everybody gets to set at the same time, and then you're like, oh fuck, I don't have a permit for this one location. And dude, this happens on almost every movie. Sometimes things get shuffled around, and we're like, "Fuck, dude, we don't have that set up," or there's just one thing you just fucking didn't get, and it's like a shout out to all the fucking people that help you on the peripherals of a film. Where, just like the permit office, we're like, okay, we can't get in at Film LA permit by fucking 2 days from now. Let's call Santa Clarita and maybe they can get us one, because we have a house out there and it kind of works. And so I mean, but that it's the stressful fucking madness of making movies. It's just a constant barrage of chaos coming at you, and then you're like, oh, did I fucking forget that thing on top of all this chaos that I'm being faced with?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Gotta love it though, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's
it was a good lesson. You never forget that after that.
Yeah, but sometimes you never learn too, because you're like, you can't write down everything, or even if you write down everything that you need to do, you might not even get to the point where you could look at the damn list to look at what you need to do.
Yeah.
One lesson that I learned early on, and I went through a similar type situation with an actor. Actually, I had cast somebody that I knew or recommended them for the role, and I didn't realize they had a schedule conflict that I didn't relay to the AD until I sat on the information for a day or two before I relayed it, and the AD goes, "Dude, why? When did you find out about this? Why didn't you tell me?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." So like that lesson that I learned like on my first big feature shoot that Christian was also on, I'm now like just so transparent about what's going on. Like, hey, just like this is just because it's, you don't want to be the guy that had the power to fix something and sat on it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's tough.
What about you, Alex?
Oh, dude. I have so much PTSD listening to all of your stories. Fuck, dude. I mean, I art directed this movie called Death House that Ack was some former producer on, and all I can remember is just mopping up buckets of blood for fucking days and days and days. And it's so little and so shitty, but it was like the most monotonous losing fight I've ever had. That sticks out. I assistant art directed this movie called Bethany. Hunter and Ack were both a part of that. And the art director just told me to tile this shower. We had a fucking mock shower for a kill scene. And not a kill scene, some gag. And there was a gag, and no one fucking told me there was a gag. So all I did was perfectly fucking tile this shot for shot perfect bathroom. And then the guy comes back and he's like, "Where's the fucking gag?" And I'm like, "What fucking gag?" He's like, "You know, the one that the hand's going to go through." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's like, "I can't tell which one it is." I'm like, "So you're saying I did a good job? Like, I tiled it. You can't tell." And dude, it was a fucking screaming fucking nightmare. I almost just gave up on movies that fucking day.
Yeah,
Like,
that actually might have been my bad, Alex. I'm just kidding.
It was so stupid. But I mean, another thing that comes to mind, because you know, you mentioned the fucking live part of it all. I don't even remember what the show was called, but I was like acting on this thing on The Nerdist. Lisa Wilcox was there. My short just came out, Drunk Zombies, and we were like these zombies that were going to attack Lisa Wilcox. And she has some fucking nunchucks and she fucking kills me. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened in my whole entire life. And I fall over, and like, it was kind of funny the way they killed us, but like everyone starts laughing hysterically. And like, we fell down. The shot was just my fucking butt crack, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's live TV, and there's nothing I could do about it. And that's just a little bit of trauma. Oh, dude, it's on my OnlyFans for sure.
I've seen it.
But dude, there's a worst day on every fucking film set. It would not be film if there was not one of the worst days of your life every fucking time. But it's also some of the best days of your life every time.
Yeah, every day is almost every day is the worst day if you're in charge of things. You know,
giant highs and lows.
Yeah.
The more responsibility you have, the more worst days you're bound to have on a set.
That is so true, bro.
Yeah.
I want to give an honorable mention to a buddy of mine. I'm not going to name his name or the movie or anything, but he was on actually a big, huge commercial out in the desert. And they were shooting with an Academy Award winning DP. And I don't know what year this was though. And the DP, they had a crane, they had thousands of people. It was supposed to be like a Trojan horse type scenario. And the DP got up on the crane, or he wouldn't get on the crane. He says, "I haven't had my double shot of coffee. I'm not working." And then so my buddy was a PA, and the producer, they're just like, just go to the closest coffee shop. Just go. And so he goes and he gets a double shot coffee. He didn't get a shot. He didn't get the actual espresso shot in the by itself. And so then he comes back with the coffee and he hands it to him. And the DP knocked it out of his hand onto the ground.
That dude.
And he said, "That's not what I ordered. I ordered the shot." And so he says, so then they had to go back. They wasted more time. He got another one. And he wanted it fresh every time they were going to start their day. He wanted it fresh. So my buddy went and he got, I think, 12 or 24 of those shots the next day. And he put them in the refrigerator on set, and then he would put them in the microwave in the trailer, and then bring one out every time they're shooting. He's all, "Fuck this guy." But I couldn't imagine running to the coffee shop, coming back sweating. You're like, "Oh my God, everybody's waiting, thousands of people," because this was before like CGI. It was years ago, and he's like handing it on a platter. He's like, "Here you go." And the guy just boom, knocks it off.
That's some whack shit, dude. Honestly, like the egos that you got to deal with sometimes are just goofy. And I understand that, like, you know, you might be really, really good at your job, but also just do your job, man. Like, don't, you know, the little things aren't that important in the grand scheme of things. But I'm not rich and famous, so what do I know?
No, it's unacceptable. I don't think that shit flies anymore.
Yeah, I once had a relatively famous actor get really mad when I gave him Sierra Mist instead of a Sprite.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Yeah, dude. That was the whole lecture I got at the end of the day. He only drank Sierra Mist.
Wow.
Damn.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
In my Tonight Show days, we had parking spaces that were really close to the studio that were just meant for PAs to go in and out. And I had parked in my, one of our spots normally, but sometimes they would give those spots to an actor driving themselves in, and fucking I get a call saying, dude, we weren't supposed to park in our spots today. William Shatner's down there and he's pissed. And I had to go down there and move my car for fucking William Shatner. And I'm like, oh, sorry, Mr. Shatner. And he like didn't say a word to me. He was pissed.
That's hilarious.
And eventually his company optioned one of my scripts one time, but he probably never, obviously he wouldn't remember that, but yeah.
That's funny, dude.
Okay, so I have another. I have an actual really bad one. That Jonathan, you were on this movie with me. I won't say the movie. I mean, we had a lot of fucking bad.
I think I know where you're going.
Like probably the worst, least fun movie we ever did. Let's just say that. And so there's I have not seen the movie, so I can't say if it's the worst movie but it's very low rated on my movies that I've done on Letterboxd.
Hey, low ratings don't mean shit, okay?
Yeah.
Low ratings.
I'm actually okay with it because I did. You have those movies that you have PTSD from, and so I don't even want to see the movie because every day was another fucking dramatic situation. So, but this time it was basically on me because you have these big things that you may or may not be able to afford as a line producer, and you're not sure if you can pull them off because as the movie goes along, you're like, oh, are we going to be able to do this or that, or flip that car, or do this big stunt, or buy this big prop that the director really wants that costs thousands of dollars and that kind of thing. So sometimes you kind of push it off and you try it in the hopes that you're saving enough money to be able to pay for that thing. But this time around, it was more like, okay, we're today, and it's a night scene. We're shooting all nights, and we're gonna have some a stunt person falling out of a second-story window. And this is something that it's my first time doing this. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure we're going to need extra insurance for this, but I don't know. And so lo and behold, I start looking through all of our insurance and wondering whether or not we had put that in the insurance quote, because each thing that you do that's super dangerous, you have to have a separate little clause in your insurance, and you have to pay thousands of dollars more if there's somebody whose life is really going to be in danger. And so I realized, oh fuck, we're doing that today. Oh shit, I better check out the insurance. And lo and behold, it is not anywhere on the insurance. And I'm like, oh, so either I stop it or we just hope that and we had a great like a really, really great stunt team, but it doesn't mean that something bad could happen. And then I'm like, if something bad does happen, there goes me, there goes the movie. That stunt person or their family is going to own this movie, and I'm not going to get hired ever again. And so I had to sit there and watch, and I was just like, all right, let's see how the rest of my career and the fate of this movie. And a lot of people just, it was very well safe and rehearsed and padded and just, but no matter what, when you have somebody doing something that dangerous, you're just like, you just cross your fingers and hope. And that was definitely one of them.
So it worked out all right, though.
Everything worked out. Everyone survived, and I'm sure it's probably in the movie. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there are all those times, especially when you're making no budget movies, and that one had a decent budget in the millions. But when you're making a no budget movie, that's like every day you're just hoping that just that little fall on the ground, you don't want to put as if you don't have the insurance for it, you don't want to make people actually fall on the ground, because even if somebody could just break their elbow or just shin their ankle, even people running and they hit a rock and twist their ankle, That's all shit that you're basically liable for as a film, and you just and you hope that that doesn't happen if you don't have the insurance. You're not paying. You know, if you're making like a $10,000 movie, that's something you really have to watch out for. Is like making sure everybody's safe and not actually doing what is that you're faking. You know, you're faking it. It's written. You know.
Real quick on that same first feature, that the one I was coordinating, they had we were at a mansion, and it had a hill that goes down the driveway, and the street that led after that was a very narrow street, cars parked on both sides, and at the end of that street was a major intersection, 4 lanes total, and a lot of traffic. Anyways, there was just an easy little driving thing where the character's going to drive down the driveway and go down the street out of the camera's view. And they were like, yeah, let's throw the actor in there. And the actor had the foresight to be like, I don't think I want to do it. I don't want to do that. And then they had to hold production, get the stunt guy and the stunt driver guy. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And he hops in the truck and he starts to go down the hill. And lo and behold, the brakes go out.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
So,
I don't even remember that.
No, you were not. This was
it wasn't this.
This was before I worked with you.
I thought it was I thought you said it was the same movie. Okay.
Yeah. And so then he's going down this hill, and it's a steep hill because it's one of those Hollywood mansion looking things, but we weren't expecting this, so we still had crew out on the sidewalks and out on the street.
Oh my God.
And so he veers a little to the left, clips their mailbox, and then with his driving, thank God it was a stunt guy, with his driving skills, he didn't hit one single car on both sides of this narrow street. Wow. And he's headed towards the intersection, and he's got to stop somehow, and he can't stop. And then right as he's coming out, there was another BMW that was coming out of their house. And he runs right into the back of the BMW before he gets to the major intersection. And I had to go get all the insurance paperwork and everything. That BMW saved the stuntman's life. And but it was just a fender bender, but it could have been a lot worse.
That's wild, bro.
So the emergency brake didn't work too, or what?
No, yeah. It was an old school car, old school truck. And it just, nothing was working. And he's like, and it was a stunt car driver that was like, he's like, shit,
Dude, that's wild, bro.
But he was cool, calm in his veering. I was surprised if that was the actor, he would have ran into all those cars on the street. It would have been a big mess. Probably hit someone. Yeah,
shit, man.
Smart actor, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
So
yeah, well, I think it's time. I think it's time, guys. It's been a great episode. It is, it's time. Yeah, my watch here says it's time to go. And I want to appreciate everyone who is actually sitting here and still watching us talk
I'm amazed.
We're filmmaking. Thank you all for sticking around. And don't forget, type your favorite horror movie in the comments and let us know to win a copy of My Favorite Horror Movie Part 3. And give us a like, subscribe. Why not? At this point, if you lasted this long,
smash all those buttons.
Dude.
Yeah.
You're still here, bro. You're in for the long haul.
We're here. We're going to start doing live shows. We're going to have people talking, people coming on the show. We have interviews. We have a ton of segments that we've already taped that we're going to be just dropping almost every day. And at least doing one weekly full show. That will be fun. And I don't know. That's about it. I think that's and it's time to rock and roll. So, all right, villains, we'll see you on the next round.